Hello, my soul tribe. Welcome to my channel. This is Celeste TT Tarot, and I am back for Cancer's birthday reading. And I know they're gonna be like, "It's late," but it is late. It's late where I'm at. And hello, this is me. Hello. And but I go when I'm divinely guided to go, so I'm being obedient. I like to let the energy settle down. We are in Leo season, but I've already explained this. I'm going to explain it again. So those who's new, welcome, and for those who's returning, welcome back. Even if no one watches this, I am divinely guided to put out this message for your birthday so we can check the energies and see what's going on. So I have my incense lit. It's actually cannabis. That was made by the Most High. It's a plant. So some of you guys could be doing alternative medicine. Some of you guys could be medicating. That is your choice. They call it a drug. Anything man-made is a drug. I don't know. I don't like to call it that. It's been called a controlled substance, a drug. All of those are like, to me, kind of like synonyms for like medicine, one man-made versus one natural. It is a natural medicine that is grown from the Mother Earth. So I'm all about it. Everything in moderation. That's what we're taught by the Most High. So as long as you're not putting it before Him and worshiping it like it's your new Most High, there's only one. And mine, I call him Yahweh because I discovered that's his name. Maybe some of you guys could be discovering or going through your spirituality practices, and that's all fine, well, and good. I have been on my journey. You see here, I got these olives, right? The olive trees, the olive branches, these olives from this place, this restaurant I just happened to come across from Jordan. So these people make olives and they ship them. They say 100% natural. So you can see the writing is on the top, right? They're from Jordan. And so, and they've been blessed by the Most High because the ashes from my incense altar spilled on the olives. So they are blessed and ordained for me. And as you know, olive oil, the juice that comes from them is from olives, right? So the juice spilled on the table, and look, I put some on my hands. You see that shine? Yeah, okay. So I'm all ready to do the reading now. So if those hands was crusty, they not crusty no more. You see that? How the Most High takes good care of you. All right. Put some up on the arms, shining, okay. All right, so I'm all ready for the reading. So I have here the Gaia Oracle, and I have here my Rumi deck. So some of you guys could be like in this, like, I don't know, lovey vibe. I also have the manga tarot. So some of you, mystical manga tarot. Some of you guys could be into manga, anime. I am definitely. Funny enough, I have Cancer in my chart. So, which is a very unknown thing, but I definitely do. So, it's not in one of the what they call prominent places, but I think all the signs and the buildup of you and your birth chart is prominent and important in some manner and ends up helping save you. So things that I've learned about even utilizing my own natural, divinely ordained and placed in my birth chart Cancer energy is just being more driven, goal focused. Like when you're working on projects and things, you get that tunnel vision. So maybe you guys are getting tunnel vision and like thinking of like how to move forward, plans, goals, things that you want temporarily, things you want long term. Maybe some of you guys are going through that. So I'm getting more of like so I guess some Cancers are exhibiting kind of like maybe some lovey energy, and some of them I'm getting like driven, like rebel energy. So the song that started playing for me as soon as I was like, I'm gonna start you guys reading is I believe it's called Wild Things. Let me just double check. But Alessia Cara. Yep, it is called Wild Things. So it the part that popped up right now is find table spaces, say your social graces, bow your head. There's fires here, but you and I, we're pioneers. We make our own rules, our own rule. Nobody's here, and let them sell what they are selling. There's no bias here. So gather all the rebel now, we'll rebel out and sing along. We don't care what they say, no way, no way. And we believe the empty chairs for those who say we can't sit there, fine all by ourselves. So hey, we got our drums and this is how we dance, no mistaking. We make our breaks. If you don't like our 808s, then leave us alone, cause we don't need your policies. We have no apologies for being. Find me where the wild things are. And then the other part that jumps in is, I lose my balance on these eggshells you tell me to tread. I'd rather be a wild one instead. Don't wanna hang around the in crowd. The cool kids are not cool to me, cause they not cooler than we are. So hey, we bought our drum and this is how we dance, no mistaking. We make our breaks. If you don't like our 808s, then leave us alone, cause we don't need your policies. We have no apologies for being. So maybe some of you are feeling like, cancers have two sides to them as well. A lot of people don't know that there's two horses on that chariot card. There's a white and a black horse. So it's like, take it or leave it. Which one you about to go get? Either you gonna get the loving, soft, sweet, like caring, compassion nature, or you gonna get them claws. So, and when them claws come out, it's funny, but for me, visually in the tarot deck, it is similar to like Leo energy. Because if you think of it, like people will call them like Krabby Patties or whatever, SpongeBob. Maybe some of you guys are watching SpongeBob. But Krabby Patties, and it's funny because I'm getting a phone call right now from somebody. They're not actually a Cancer, so they're a Gemini. Maybe some of you guys could be dealing with one or have that in your chart. Person that's calling definitely actually has that in their chart. So we are going to get started. I'll have to call them back, so let me message them like, hey, let me call you back. Yeah. Do 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 do. So we're gonna get started. I'm going with where I'm feeling. So right here in the middle of the table. So I'm gonna go with the Manga Tarot. And yeah, look at the box. Excuse me. So I'm not gonna take any reversals. If I see them, I will call them out. But we're gonna go ahead and get started. But yeah, I was saying about the Leo energy because I actually have that in my chart as well. With that energy, I like to say Cancers embody both fire and water sign, because like when y'all get when your heart is in it, y'all get like real like passionate, like it's like you can't even stop yourself. You get like real passionate about stuff. And so that's that fire energy. It actually could be any of the fire signs. So like if you got an addition, like the signs are all meant to like be an addition to what you are already working with. So like if you have like, for example, the fire sign of Aries in your chart somewhere, then that could be the supporting fire energy of like you being driven and having tunnel vision when it comes to like, being a boss, an entrepreneur, a leader, someone who the head of the household, that type of energy. If you have associated Sagittarius in your chart, that can be you like driven, like moving very quickly, like very balanced, and knowing how like when to hold them, when to fold them, things like that. Like Sagittarius energy is pretty straightforward. They're the archers, the messengers, so you could be driven to like pass these messages, driven to like get things done, be on the move, driven to travel, like getting a tunnel vision of like where you want to locate in different times at different places. And then when, like I said, with the Leo energy, it's more like you being a challenger, a rebel. It's more like you standing your ground, standing for something or falling for anything. You being very driven once you like make up your mind on a position. Okay. So I got my little cup here, blessed. So maybe some of you guys are feeling blessed with where you are in life, or you want to be in a blessed position. So let's look at these cards and see. Trying to get all the cards. I'm actually here in my office, so I decided to change the scenery for you guys that popped up. So we're gonna see. There we go. That actually worked out pretty well. I have to find another thing to do because I'm actually gonna need this deck. All right, so anyway, let's go. Just gonna flip them all over. Ooh, I do have some reversals. I'll have to call them out. Okay, so the energies I was talking about before, we got fire in here, for real, a lot of fire. We got all the fire. Okay, so starting in the middle. In the middle, we have the Nine of Wands in reverse. So Nine of Wands is like defensive energy. It's like very protective energy. It's like you have put your time, effort, and energy into something that you feel is very important, and now you want to protect it. Like you've made sacrifices. You have put a lot of work in. You've passed messages. You have charted out the plans, laid out the groundwork, and now you're trying to protect your territory, things that you work hard for. But in reverse, it can be like a very stubborn, last man standing type of energy where it's also like going against the grain, trying to force something. So be careful of that, because that's in the center. And I'm looking at the spread, as I mentioned before. It's kind of like it looks to me like that stick figure hand. So you got the right hand, the left hand, the right side, the left side, and you also got the center. So that's almost like the heart. I always start off at the heart space, because if you want to be blessed, your blessings come from that. So if you're in this kind of last man standing, persevering, but it's not even persevering, it's more like a stubbornness. This is Sagittarius energy. So if you're using that fire energy in that way, that could be why it's not working out, because in a heart space, you have to move with moderation for Sag energy. Like if you're doing something too excessive and you're trying to put fire and passion and force in it to the umpteenth degree, you are going to be the last man standing, because the opposite of that energy, if you look at the card in reverse, is, so in reverse, all the wands, everything that you laid the groundwork for is on a faulty foundation. So it comes back, and now you're the only one sitting up there with a wand trying to defend yourself against, like, everything that you put out comes back. It's kind of like that type of energy. So you're gonna fall in the fire that you set. The passion that you put forth into something is what burns you. Okay, I don't know if some of you guys were burnt by a partner, so that could be why, because you were doing something so excessive and it wasn't in moderation, and it was a heart thing. Like you were very passionate about it, but all it was passion and lust. And that's why you're the last man standing, because at the end, eventually, you may or may not run out of partners. And after that happens, like, what do you do now? You're all burnt out, you're all worn out, and you're the last person standing, fighting for something that, nobody else is on your side, on your team. And so all the things that I look at, because Sagittarius is like the messenger energy, all of like the communication or messages or forms of groundwork that you were laying actually comes back. All these sticks fall back on you, and you end up falling on your own falling by your own passion, you know, so be careful of that. In the upright, as you can see here, this person's able to balance themselves. They're able to move between giving messages with the groundworks that they already, you know, laid, but be careful because they're in the water here, so you can drown. If you remember the Sagittarius card, it's like it looks like an angel that has one foot in the water, so it's like being able to stay on top of, it's kind of like also like that Leo energy, like standing your ground, making sure your foundation is set in truth and set in your messages are set in clarity, and you're very light. You'll be very light-footed and able to protect yourself and protect your fire and not put your fire and your passion out. Okay, so I turned it back upright. At the top of your mind, we have 4 of Wands in reverse. So that is Aries energy. Okay, I was talking about that. So some of you guys could be thinking about divorce, a breakup, a separation of families, disharmony in a family, a community, in your household that could be plaguing you. There could be members of your family that you feel are lost, or are as you, once again, the wands are like going in the opposite direction, so there's a lot of chaos, because you know where they fall to, it could be something that's just not what you feel in your mind would be the essence of being something divinely ordained, because upright, you know, everything's solid, both parties are on the same pathway. You can see there's a connection here. If you believe in, like with the anime, they always have the like red string or red thing of fate, and so both parties are put into the relationship to, now it's like a red handkerchief or something a little bit more that's been built upon, like a handkerchief or a blanket of fate that's gonna like or a tent. I like to call it in the biblical terms, a tent that has both parties in the same page. Both parties have put into it. Both parties is equal give and take. Both parties are following the same path, and so it's divinely ordained. And so this foundation is the start of a household, a marriage, a union that won't be able to be taken down, because you see it's built not on water but in a solid foundation, because I would say Aries are a little bit more about, you know, building a foundation, a household, a home. Okay, we have the Emperor on the right. Okay, so Aries energy, discipline, control, individual who is an entrepreneur, a business owner, the boss. Okay, the president, the CEO, the person who has mastered all kings of the deck, which is the King of Cups. And Cancer's reading, compassionate, understanding, very forgiving, but also knowing how to protect that energy, because that's like the softness inside of the crab that, you know, not a lot of people getting to see. So having discernment and emotional intelligence about who to trust with that soft core and who not to. The King of Swords, that communicative energy, very direct, very straightforward, operates with integrity. And the King of Wands, which is, you know, Emperor energy, but also is more like a leader, a person who is a director of their own show, someone who has passion, is driven, is determined, but also open-minded when it comes to planning. They very considerate, considering everyone, because that's how you operate to embody all of that energy. And then the King of Pentacles, somebody who is stable, grounded, loyal, committal. It's like the husband card as well. To lay a foundation, providing financial support, but also the King of Pentacles, you can't embody that energy alone without the care and compassion that goes with you spending money, you know, to take care of those that you love, that you care about. So when you embody all those kings, you are ready for running a kingdom, being an emperor of your kingdom. And so for my Cancers, the masculines that on the right hand, you are on the right hand of the Most High, and so you're ready for your kingdom partnerships. Congratulations. We also have here On the left hand, we have the Seven of Cups. So that talks about options, right? But if you look, there's something in all of these cups. There's a dragon in one. There's a snake in the other. There's a human female head in one. There's a house in another one. There's like a reef in another one. There's like treasures or pearls in another one. And there's something, one cup with that's covered. So this is Scorpio's energy. It's Seven of Cups. It can also talk about confusion, delusion. It can talk about dating multiple partners. It can talk about options, right? So you do have options in life, and you can choose which paths. And depending on which path you choose, it can lead down to destruction with the dragon or the snake. Or you can choose a path where, looks, appearances. You can choose a path where you just have a house, but a house is not a home. And you could choose a path where you're always only focused on your health. You could choose a path of prosperity over here, of just focusing on your money. But there's a hidden path here. And I would say that, when it comes to Scorpio energy, a lot of things that after you sift through, what you come to learn is how you transform yourself is trying the unknown path. It's covered up because it's operating out of faith and not out of sight. It's like out of sight. When they say like out of sight, out of mind, right? It's like don't operate with mental energy, which is sword energy. Don't operate with sight, with what you're seeing, which is wand energy, right? Because it's, what you're visioning, being a visionary. Operate with faith. And you can't see it, but it's there. It's you believe it. And that's a pathway that's open now to a lot of you, it looks like. After you didn't try it all you can, after you've done all you can, you just stand. Maybe some of you guys are, becoming enlightened, getting into religion or spirituality. To me, they're one and the same, because these are not battles of the flesh. They are of principalities, right? They are of spiritual beings. So the spiritual is as above, so below, just as important as the physical, if not more. So you have to make sure that you are picking the right cup that's going to lead you on your divine path, okay, to being able to have enlightenment, being able to have that divine union. Because the divine union comes when you're ready and prepared to be a leader, right? And you're only ready and prepared to be a leader if you know who to be listening to lead, right? And that would be the Most High. If you're just following your own, left to your own devices, then you'll be in this confusion, delusion energy, head in the clouds energy, thinking that, well, I'll just, go with what I want. And then you've tried that. If it didn't work, it's like, okay, if you went through every single cup, at this point, what is there left to lose than trying it? That's just me. You're free to do as you wish. Okay, then we had talked about the heart space. On the right hand, we got 10 of Wands. So that's like an end of a cycle of, okay, you see this person picking up these wands and like moving along. So some of you guys could be ending a cycle of that was just passion. You were just... It also talks about guilt. It talks about, but it's the end of it. It's like, I've tried it every which way. We've done all we can. It's time to pick up and move along. Like, she's got one wand in her hand. It's time to move along and go find that passion or drive or go plant that wand somewhere else. We were not on the same page. If this is a relationship, I feel like relationships, friendships, they all are kind of one and the same, the way our casual society operates. Because, I was just talking to somebody about like that whole term girlfriend and boyfriend. It's like girls and boys that are friends when we supposed to be grown people, grown men and women. So, it's kind of like that term in and of itself can be a little bit childish and immature. It may be time some of you guys may be growing up and being like, hey, look, man, all this is lustful, because wands can be lust, right? They're like the wand, right? If you want to think literal, you could also look at it like your passion, your drive. And a lot of men, that's also associated, which is, of course, important, because relationships are important. So who you choose as a partner is going to be important. right? Because that's going to lay out the foundation for how things go forward. So some of you guys could be in a cycle, at the end of a cycle, and that's on the right hand, right under the Emperor. So you're able to discipline and control yourself enough to know, like, look, I'm not going down this lustful road anymore. I'm more into the spiritual enlightened part. So that's the one that I'm going to choose. And it turns out it was a cup that's going to be overflowing with the Most High. That's going to give me that divine union, which is in the, this is at the top of the mindset. Okay, so we have the under that on the left hand, the Page of Coins in reverse. Okay, and I mentioned I wasn't going to take reversal, so I've been flipping them back up. But this one actually came out in reverse. This talks about when you have a goal in mind, planting a seed. It is earth energy, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo energy. It talks about it's basically like planning goals that you have when it comes to money. Maybe you felt, some of you guys felt like you had a goal in mind when it came to money. You planted the seed, you did your research, everything that you needed to do, and it just didn't turn out the way that you wanted it after you planted that seed. You felt like it was a waste, that you didn't learn anything, that you didn't get anything financial from it. And it goes back to that parable that I ain't bring up the parable before, but I have posted it before when I was going into the parable of the sower type. It's like when you plant seeds, it depends on where you're planting that seed. So if you're planting in a foundation that's already built, it could be a lot of people there, right? Like that crab in the barrel mentality where everybody's trying to get the fruits of this seed. So if you count up the amount of people that's invested in this, and this is me as a Capricorn, I am an earth sign, actually, it's my sun sign. When you count up the people that are also invested in this, and you think about how this pinnacle that you're planning, this investment that you're making is going to be divvied out, and you see how many people is being divvied out to, you may come to find out there's not going to be enough left for you. So maybe you may want to consider planting it somewhere else, right? Or so that would be like the planting in a soil that's already maybe like with weeds or roots or something like that. Planting it in a deserted location is kind of like planting where the rocks are, that sower type, where it's like the foundations there, rocks are a little bit more solid, but the plant can't take root because the rocks are more solid, so it can't actually divvy into the ground. It can't even reach the ground. The other sower type is fertile soil, finding somewhere where it has a right mix of people, your soul tribe, things like that. And then the other part is planting it in a foundation that, so I mentioned the one that was crowded, the one that was desolate, the one that's fertile. There is another one where it's kind of like hot and cold. So it may appear to have all the right ingredients, but like if you look up ahead, there's a lot of vultures and a lot of, other type of things, snakes and other things that can like threaten the investment. So you have to be careful of that, and that can be like the pyramid scheme type of thing. So so that could be why things didn't turn out the way that you wanted it. But upright, it's like having a goal in mind, wanting to go plant a seed, make a financial investment in something, and hoping that it turns out because you did all your research and on it, hoping it turns out the way that you are intending it to turn out. So this is the Page of Pentacles. It's like taking a page out of the book of someone who maybe even went that route already. If you have a guidepost or somebody to look up to follow in their footsteps to see if it could work out the way that it worked out for you. Now, everybody's an individual. I will tell you on that. There are some individuals that may have a leg up than you. They may have the right look, the right social status, there's a lot of factors that come involved. So that's why this is page energy. Okay, because what works for somebody else might not work for you. Okay, right? Because if you don't have exactly what this person has, then it may not turn out the way, that you want it, because you're not embodying the same energy as this person, right? You're just following in this person's footsteps. We got King of Wands on the left. So that's great energy, being a visionary, being passionate and driven about something that you feel like is a good fit for you. You see how he's holding that wand? He's confident. He is charming. He is handsome. A looker. King of Wands tend to be, pretty handsome, very focused, driven. That is Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries energy. But you got to be careful with where you put that wand, okay, because that could get you in trouble. This actually came up right on the left hand, so now you've learned whatever you need to learn. At the mental space, you've already dealt with all these options. In the heart space, it didn't turn out the way you wanted, so now you're ready to chart a new path. You got a new vision. You got something in mind, where you would like to plant your staff, right? So therein you have it. The path is narrow, so you're ready to go on your journey. And in the King of Wands, in this card, in this deck, he's actually standing. In most of Rider-Waite Tarot, he's sitting. But now I guess some of you guys are up and on the move. That would definitely be Cancer energy, up and on the move and ready to go. You done seen something in your palace that you would like to add. It inspires you, fires you up, gets you determined. Okay, you got your crown already. You've already mastered what you needed to know. In the middle heart space, we have the Knight of Coins. So this is the slowest moving knight in the deck, but this person is very reliable, somebody who's very stable, consistent. And this Knight energy, this could indicate, the Knight energy could sometimes indicate a child. Since it's in the middle under the heart space, that's kind of like in the crotch area if you're looking at the stick figure person. So maybe some of you guys are slow when it comes to wanting to create a child, and if you do create a child, it may be in this may be specific for somebody. It may be an earth child that you end up creating. A Knight of Pentacles in this one could be a male. We got the Sun over here. I'll get to that later, just why I say that. But yeah, we could have a male child over here because it's right under the heart, which if you look directly in the heart on the actual human body, it is the crotch area. So maybe some of you guys are considering having a child, but you're taking your time. This is, as I mentioned, the slowest moving knight on the deck. So it's like moving slowly to make sure you are financially stable and prepared for that child. It's a form of preparation. This could also be you moving forward and taking your time before you make decisions. You're on the move though, but you're taking your time doing your research before you actually go and plant the seed. Because once you plant that seed, for earth energies, like, you are planted and it's hard to uproot it, or transplant it once it's been planted. So some of you guys are being a little bit more cautious with that, wrapping up. And so you are rebuilding up your, I like to call it your life seed, right? Because, that area for a man and a woman is very sacred. It's your temple, right? I did see the Four of Wands in reverse, so maybe some of you guys felt like you wasted some seeds in the past and didn't go the way you wanted. It didn't take root, so now you're being more cautious for the future with planting a proper seed to make sure you're gonna make sure and take your time that it took root. Okay, I ain't mad at you. Okay, y'all in that what I'm hearing seems like you're ready. R. Kelly, who is a Capricorn, he has a reputation for possibly even going after night young energies. That's neither here nor there. He did make a lot of great music that made a lot of children, to be honest. So there's that duality with it. On the one hand, who he was in his personal life, is those are the things that he's gonna have to pay for. So let's not throw stones. If you was made off of some R. Kelly songs, I mean, it doesn't mean that you weren't meant to be here. You're here. Obviously, you're here for a reason. So whatever he did in his personal life is on him. To me, it has a reflection to do, because there are multiple parties involved. How are you getting access to children? Where are these parents as well? But that's just my personal opinion. It has nothing to do with, the victims that were involved. They actually were victims. So as far as that, but there are different opinions now about the age of consent and how we came to that. So maybe some of you guys are politically standing your ground on certain things, politically having visions on certain things. Maybe some of you guys want to go into politics because that was just weird, came from left, right? Even though that's in the center, because right next to that on the right hand we have the Knight of Wands. So this is a very quick moving energy. I would say the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Swords are the quickest moving. One is communicative, like direct, to the point, straightforward. The other one is fiery energy, like getting in there, getting it done. It's not meant to be long standing, because think about it. If you were running on a horse, because the Knight of Wands, you see the horse in there as Sagittarius, Leo, and Aries energy. If you were running a horse forever, the horse would eventually run out of steam, and eventually it could even die because you've overworked the horse. You got to take time to stop, feed the horse, take care of the horse, just like this Knight of Pentacles, taking your time to do it versus rushing in and wearing the horse out. Okay, and then after, it's not meant to be alone for a long time. Being very, very, like, if it's in reverse, like loose with your, loose with your sexuality, just wasting your time with this, horse and this wand, and just running in and doing this and running in and running here and running there. Is very destabilizing. You have to be able to, like, be consistent and be driven to get to a certain location. And once you get to that location, you're supposed to plant, right, with this wand, right? You're supposed to plant between this king and this knight is the page, right? The communication. This is like the action oriented card. So it's like you taking fiery, passionate action. I mentioned it seems like you're ready situation, because we got the Knight of Pentacles here. And the King of Wands, if you mastered that, that's great. But what else was to it? Because your life seed energy as a man and as a woman produces harvest, right? Produces a fruits, children. So this could be another child that you have, or possibly could have already, or is due to come in, because this could be also looked at as your root chakra. Maybe you're trying to root yourself down to have a child. This is also another masculine, so maybe it could be two sons that you are intending to have, a Knight of Pentacles and a Knight of Wands, a fire child and a earth child. Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus, or in a Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries at some point. So yeah, that's King of Wands. And maybe some of you guys are focused and driven on becoming a father or leading people that are in your flock. Maybe you got a younger earth sign and a younger fire sign that look up to you as a leader. And so maybe some of you guys are in that, rooting yourself in this leadership role. It don't have to be with children. I'm just like reading everything that I see. Okay, we have the Six of Wands over here on the right hand. Victory, success, recognition, Leo energy. Okay, like ratting in the town, like getting it, determined, driven, and successful. It's like going off to battle and coming back with the successful fruits of the labor. Everybody's celebrating, but you see here this dark energy. Where there is light, there will always be that dark, hating energy. I was about to say hating ass, and maybe some hating dark cloud puffs, hating energy, and they don't want to see you, flying your banner, being successful, accomplishing goals that you were trying to accomplish. So that's good for you. On the right hand, you got it going on, the Emperor. Okay, on the left hand we got the Sun. Okay, so that's Leo energy on both hands. So maybe some of you guys are embodying in Leo energy. It talks about happiness, success, peace, harmony. See, they're picking flowers together. It could be passionate, new passionate love. It could also be some of you guys could be expecting or preparing to be expecting, not sure. So congratulations if that's you. You could be having a son, you could be having a daughter. just a man and a female. It kind of just depends, gender on the Most High, and he can see, shining a light through the dark spaces of like what your heart is. So some of you guys could be getting back into this happy, joyful energy, which is like stepping back into your childhood self, your childhood innocence. It almost gives me like 144K vibes of like, because it did mention innocent children, innocent male children that were not shaded over by the world, that were still innocent, and that could be taken as virginal, so young, youthful energy that hadn't experienced women or men, if it's a female as well. Okay, so we're gonna go now to Rumi, see what Rumi has to say. I think I'm only gonna pull 3 cards from here. Okay. And that's kind of like what I was seeing, is like the balance of the eggshells, that the 9 of Wands. Now that I'm looking at it, I lose my balance on these eggshells. You tell me straight, I'd rather be a wild one instead. Like defending your position of what you want to be. And the Knight of Wands is like a wild child card. It could be somebody also that's sexually promiscuous. All of the actual Knight cards could be promiscuous. And Cancer energy would be Knight of Cups, a youthful Cancer. So that could be promiscuous too, making like little temporary love offers so you can get what you got to get and get out. The Knight of Pentacles is like, using finances to make love offers and being on the move so you can pay for whatever you're trying to get. And it may take you a little bit more time to get out, but you're still moving along, right? Continuing on, right? With whatever you got to go. The Knight of Wands obviously is like, I'm in and out, fired up, passionate, I'm done, I'm out. And we got the Knight of Swords, like, hey, I communicated, I told you what I wanted, I got it, all right, I'm out. Like, I'm telling you now, I'm out. Like, that's it, okay? Like, don't call me da-da-da-da-da. Like, I'm out of here. I'm going against the wind. Like, they're trying to throw communication at you to get your attention. You're like, no, I'm direct. I told you what it was. So, Poem 8, Leo Energy, Strength card. I swear, since seeing your face, the whole world is fraud and fantasy. The garden is bewildered as to what is leaf or blossom. The distracted birds can distinguish the bird seed from the snare. A house of love with no limits. A presence more beautiful than Venus or the moon. A beauty whose image fills the mirror of the heart. Okay? So, it talks about leaf versus blossom. Distracted birds, which can distinguish bird seeds from a snare. So like bird seeds that are in a snare, like it's kind of like dangling the fruit in front of your face so you can get caught up in it, and then you're actually snared into a trap. So a cage bird singing versus bird seed, where you just plant the bird seeds into the ground, or or the birds feed from the seeds. It's all of those that I was talking about, and able to blossom, meaning that there was fertile soil that you planted in, and that bewildered energy is that 7 of Cups. So this is completely resonating. The mirror of the heart, right? That last man standing, more beautiful than Venus or the moon. That's like that sun card energy. A beauty whose image fills the mirror of the heart is like the 6 of Wands, the 4 of Wands, the Emperor. Like, okay, so, and the Emperor is a husband. So, that's that boss. That's that big boss, Big Daddy. All right, okay, but Big Daddy got to come from Big Daddy, which is the Most High. Okay, he has to be ordained. He can't just make it up on his own, or else it's on a faulty foundation. And you can probably hear my cat. Oh no, I didn't mean to switch that. Sorry, you can probably hear my cat in the background, but he's a Scorpio, so he approves of this message with the bewildered 7 of Cups card. All right. Then we have in the heart space, poem 15. That is Capricorn energy, the devil. I am a sculptor, a molder of form. In every moment I shape an idol. But then in front of you, I melt them down. I can rouse 100 forms and fill them with spirit. But when I look into your face, I want to throw them in the fire. My soul spills into yours and is blended, because my soul has absorbed your fragrance. I cherish it. Every drop of blood I spill informs the earth. I merge with my beloved when I participate in love. In this house of mud and water, my heart has fallen to ruins. Into this house, my love, or let me leave. Okay? So that is card 15 from the Rui deck. So Capricorn energy, some of you guys could be dealing with any of all the signs that I mentioned, or have that in your chart. Okay, my other cat just snuck up in here. I think she's trying to slip into the reading. She is a Libra. I don't see any air sign on this deck or on this table, so some of you guys could have a Libra sneaking around, creeping around, or you can be creeping around with a Libra. Okay, poem 35, 3 Empress. Okay, so that's what the counterpart to the Emperor. There's only one Emperor, one Empress in the deck. Okay, a lot of queens, but one Emperor, one Empress. Poem 35, 5 is Hierophant energy, Taurus energy. So there's one Most High, as I said. There's only one Hierophant card as well. I mean, there's only one card of a lot of the other cards, but when you break them down, they have multiple, some of the cards have multiple things in them. The Hierophant is the one that has people in them that's worshiping the Most High. It could also talk about religious foundations and spirituality as well. Okay, so heart, what a rare bird you are, that in your yearning for heaven's attention, you flew to the spear point like a shield. The rose flees autumn, but what a foolhardy rose you are, seeking the autumn wind. You were rain from another world that fell on this dusty earth. You ran in all directions and escaped down the gutter. Okay, and overall we got poem 26, 20 is Libra energy, judgment, and 6 is Gemini energy, which is the Lover's card. If you don't see the hidden river, see how the water wheel of stars continually turns. If the heavens receive no rest from being moved by love, heart, don't ask for rest, be a circling star. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so now I'm going to do some oracle. That should help. I think I'm ordained to do 4 cards here. So I'm going to go with that because that's what I'm feeling. Okay, my Gaia